Hi guys, my name is Mimi and I'm going to do a garden tour today. This is my first garden and I want to give everybody a tour because I feel like here in South Florida we don't really have very many examples of what type of plants that we can use. Our zone is kind of unique and kind of small, so it's good to look at each other's gardens, and hopefully I could take you along and you could see, and maybe you can give me pointers and tips and things like that you guys use in your garden. So come along, join me for my garden tour today, and let's get started. All right, let's start this garden tour right next to my front door. Here we have a plant named Sanchizia. This plant, it does super well here in South Florida, and it grows incredibly fast. Actually, right behind these Sanchizia are a Thai cordyline plant, and they have grown so quickly that they've covered up the Thai cordyline plant. Here in this section of the garden, we have a lot of gingers, we have a bird of paradise, we have alocasias, which all of these grow super well and super fast here in South Florida. We grow in a garden zone of 10A. These are Ixoras, which they're really cool plants. They flower 10 months out of the year. This is my cat, Mouse, and she follows me everywhere in the garden, and I really love her so much. This huge plant here, I mean, it has to be about 10 years old, over 10 years old maybe. This is a Song of India. It is huge, it is beautiful, and she is a very crazy part of my garden. Alright, so now we are going on to the left side of my house. In this garden bed, we have a lot of juniper. It's kind of taking over the area. We also had a diseased plumeria here that I'm about to point out, and I had to cut it out, and I'm probably going to remove both the juniper and the plumeria. There is a cardboard plant here, the one that looks like upright, and behind that is heliconia. I'm thinking of making, expanding that section of my garden with heliconia because I really love that plant and the flowers. Here is asparagus, and I planted it here not knowing that I didn't really want it here, so this fall we're going to take it out, and I'm going to show you here in a second the garden beds, well, my vegetable garden beds that I'm going to move that there. And there they are. We are getting ready for fall vegetable garden, so we're really excited about that. This area here is kind of a mess, and I am going to need to be cleaning it out and kind of starting this over. The weeds have taken over this bed. There are some salvia, some plumeria, an oleander plant in that bed, and a huge archaea palm, butterfly palm. Over here is my papaya tree. It gives us tons of papaya, as you can see. Below that is Java white copperleaf plants. There's 3 there. They're huge and so full and so luscious, and they are fast growers. I put these in about 2 months ago, and you're going to notice most of the plants in my garden are new plants. We just started this garden maybe 3 months ago, and everything has taken off. There's some things that I like about this garden, and there's some things that I probably am going to take out and try again. Speaking of taking out, we have these red copperleaf trees back in the back of the Java white copperleaf, and I am not in love with these plants back here. The color is off, and I'm not really in love with them. I do like these cordyline plants. There is in the back Antiluke cordylines and Thai cordylines in the front. And to give a little contrast to the bougainvillea tree in the back, we planted these purple Little Prince plants. I will put the scientific name at the bottom here because it's kind of a little bit hard to pronounce. Back here is a huge pink bougainvillea tree, and when it's in full bloom, it is gorgeous. I probably have a picture that I can put here on the screen. The plant is beautiful, but it is a pain to prune back because you're having to prune it back every probably 3 to 4 months because it reaches the roof. Okay, so now we're gonna move on. In this area, it's the back of my house, and we have an outdoor shower. As you can see, the weeds have gotten the best of me there, and I need to go back out there and weed that area. Below the bougainvillea is our foxtail ferns. They are still on the small side, but I'm hoping that they will fill in this area. Right next to that is my foxtail palm. It's still a very small palm tree, and they kind of grow rather slowly. Here is my gardenia tree, and it blooms around Mother's Day, and it smells amazing. I was thinking of removing this tree, but my family loves it, so I guess it's gonna stay. In this area is my septic tank, so I can't really plant anything in that area. Here is ice-tone crotons, and they just provide a bright spot in a dark area. They will get pretty big, and I'm looking forward to those plants growing and filling up that whole entire space right next to the outdoor shower. And here is Mouse. She is giving us the garden tour. This plant here is Bridal Plumeria, and we got it out of my grandmother's garden once she passed away. Alright, coming around the corner here, we have the bush variety of Allamanden. These Allamanden flowering plants, I mean, they're always blooming. They are a great plant to have in your garden. I mean, if you like yellow flowers, I would definitely recommend the Allamanden, the bush variety. Something I wouldn't recommend are these cannas. I mean, they're never looking their best, and I think that's another thing that I will replace out of my garden. The worms will get to them, and I was trying to kind of mask the big white fencing in the back of my house, but I think I'm going to change those. This is another variety of croton. They get pretty tall, so I want to kind of like block out the AC unit. And here is a mandevilla plant that is going to be vining up the back of the fencing that protects the shower. Down here is an ornamental banana, and it's not doing as well as I was hoping, and I may have to get a more established plant to put in this area. I wanted to use the ornamental banana tree to add height to the garden and also to block out the AC unit back there. Right here you can see more cannas and plumeria. On this side of my house is actually my sunroom, and what I have planted here is a plant called Ixora. These plants are well known in Florida, and the reason that I planted them here is because this is the south side of my house and it gets extremely hot, and these plants can handle that intense sun. This variety is called Ixora noragrant, and the blooms are coral, and they bloom 10 months out of the year. So it was the perfect plant for this backside of my house that gets so much sun in the afternoon, and these plants can really just handle it. Okay, so we are coming around the side of the house where my back door area is, and these are hibiscus, and they're doing much better in this area because they get some sort of shade from the morning and the afternoon. These are fire and ice hibiscus. and they are tropical hibiscus. In this area, I have a banana plant and a pygmy date palm. I also have some cordyceps that you could see right there. Me and my husband use this bistro set to go out and have coffee in the mornings, and we love this area because we are right underneath a champaca tree. Okay, you can kind of see here as I show you that how big this tree actually is. It is a huge tree, and this tree is so beautiful. It has a yellow flower and it smells almost like honeysuckles, and you can see the flower here. Here is more of a zoomed out view. And this I know looks terrible, but all right, now we're gonna head over to my detached garage, and as you can tell here, I've kind of done the same exact thing on each side of the garage just to create a balance on here in front of the garage. In the back there is a iris. It's like a grass. It doesn't flower. And right in front of that, I have the alamandin bush. And these that I'm pointing to here are blue days, and they're a ground cover, and they can take the sun really well, and they have little blue flowers. I mean, I like them, but they're not my favorite. In the back there, just to create a little brightness, I have some crotons, and in the front is a mast tree. It is kind of like an Italian cypress, and it grows tall and narrow, and I'll put a picture of a full-grown mast tree here so that you can kind of get an idea, but it is like a very tropical Italian cypress. As we come around the side here, these are pentas. I have them in 2 urns in front of the garage door, and I really like them. These orange flowers here are Crossandra, and they are really pretty. I didn't think that I would like them as much as I do, but they are super pretty. In this area is, I'm just starting this area, so I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I know the flowers in the front are jasmines, and I kind of did them. I did a little swath of jasmines and a white bird of paradise. I'm not sure if I love it or not yet, or maybe I could put a palm here, but this bed is a huge work of progress. And also, like, the shape of my bed I'm also working on. You could tell here, like, I'm wanting it to be a little bit more curvy, and I think I've accomplished a square shape. So hopefully you guys, if you have any tips or pointers in how I can make this bed a little bit more rounded instead of square, I would appreciate it. At the corner of the garage, I added in a Duranta sapphire, and I wanted to add something that had very vibrant blooms and had a little bit more color and would get taller so I can have some height at the edge of the garage. This plant has purple blooms, and it has also these seed pods that turn from a green to a really pretty yellow color. At the back of the garage is like my next project, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. I just have my cardboard down, trying to get rid of the grass and the weeds, and I'll start to put in the mulch and start adding plants in pretty soon. Okay, for the rest of the video, I'm just basically going to be showing you other areas that I'm going to be working on, because this is a work in progress. And I have just started, so we haven't really we've accomplished a lot, but we haven't accomplished everything that I want to do. Right here I'm showing you that my chicken coop and my greenhouse, and I love my greenhouse so much. My husband built this for me last year and I love it so much. In this area I have a mulberry tree, and it has a few mulberries on it, but they're not in season, so they're not tasting really well. And behind this mulberry tree is about 4 banana trees. I also have other, banana trees and mulberry trees on the property. We also have a mango tree. And we still have a lot of work to do in our gardens, but it's coming along and I'm really loving the way that it's looking. I can put in a before picture of what it used to look like when we first moved in, and you can see how the progress that we've made throughout the year and a half that we've lived on this property. This here is a mulberry tree, and it's the Shanghai. Okay, this is the right side of my house. It has more of the utilities and trash cans on this side of the house, but I do have my bananas here, and I do have a garden bed here. The bananas are over a year old and have not fruited yet, and so I'm thinking that I need to add in a little bit more water for them to start growing. These here are crotons and a snow jasmine. I know that lantana is invasive, but they are the seedless variety of lantana. Over here I have another pygmy date palm, and I'm showing you there the mango tree, and we have a crepe myrtle that we put in. This is a guava tree that's never fruited, and we're going to be taking it out. And here is a project that me and my husband are working on, which we're putting in a nice fountain, and we're going to redesign this entire front garden bed. Alright guys, that was the garden tour, and I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I hope that it inspired you. If you like this type of content, I would hope that you would like and subscribe to this channel. It is my very first video I've ever done, so please give me grace, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.